In 2016, I had just gotten married. I was so excited to come back from my honeymoon to share my experiences with my family, to a world full of possibilities, love, and new beginnings. But when I walked into my family home, the faces I saw were not what I was expecting. It's not that they were strangers, but all had a look of grief on their faces. And it had me worried. And then I saw my sister in the corner with her eyes glazed, just sitting there and asking her husband to tell us all what happened. What happened was that my bubbly 3-year-old nephew was diagnosed with Duchenne.
Morning, bud.
Good morning. I'll be with you guys in just a second. Let me just get my glasses on. Hi, I'm Buddy Cassidy. I am an English PhD student at UC Irvine. I am currently residing in Annandale, Virginia, and I have Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. What should I wear today? Well, let's take a look. I think I'm going to be wearing something colorful. A Hawaiian shirt, perhaps. Dad, I think I'll wear the turquoise one with the milkshakes.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Thank you. My dad's just gonna help me put it on right here.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Мунавара, и я мама Белова. Сегодня я хочу поделиться нашей историей о болезни нашего сына. Белов родился здоровым и рос активным мальчиком, но в возрасте 4 лет мы заметили, что его походка ухудшается. И начал очень часто спотыкаться, при ходьбе очень быстро уставать и испытывал трудности при подъеме по лестнице. Прошли обследования и анализы, и тогда прозвучало страшное слово мышечная дистрофия Дюшена. Сейчас вспоминаю просто тот момент.
As we got post this, 8-month mark, he never crawled, couldn't sit up on his own. So we got a referral to a paediatrician. We weren't worried. We just thought his gross motor was probably just a bit delayed. He did do something in that meeting, which was get up off the ground for probably the 3rd time in his life. We were celebrating, going, look how good this is, he's getting up off the floor. And we now know that the way that he did that was called a Gowers manoeuvre. So from that meeting, she did order some blood tests, which was a CK test.
I had heard nothing at all about Duchenne when I was at university, nothing in my everyday life. I didn't have the chance to meet anyone with Duchenne. So my son Luca was about to undergo surgery for his adenoids when the test really revealed that his creatine kinase level was over 11,000. a hallmark symptom of Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. Doctors confirmed the Duchenne diagnosis in a biopsy during the surgery, but we never suspected anything because no one in our family was aware of the disease. The worst thing is there was nothing we could do. They told us to go home and try to be happy. This is what used to happen in the 90s. This was a wake-up call for me because I am a pharmacist and I was so sad. Then I had drugs for everyone and nothing for my son.
A simple blood test later, our lives changed. Duchenne. I had never heard the word before. I had no idea what it meant. Access to the internet was limited back then, and Google search was not as it is now. No parent forums, no advocacy groups that I knew of. The diagnosis after 2 or 3 years of unanswered questions seemed initially a relief to finally have an answer. But slowly, it unfolded its profound truth, a progressive debilitating condition with no cure and a limited lifespan. But in that raw moment, something shifted. I focused on what Kushal could do, not what he could not.
I was thinking it's only my son, Then, yes, it was so hard for me to accept to say my son can reach this point because this boy was okay. Childbirth was okay, everything. It went every step that a child should pass, So it was so hard for me to accept the condition of my boy. But through the people that I found to the hospital, they tried to, to explain everything to me, and I got the meaning. So I reached a point whereby I should just accept to say, okay, this is it. It has come, and there's nothing that I can do. The only thing that I can do is just to give support to this boy.
As a clinician in Zambia, I'm aware that there are many challenges to providing care to patients and their families with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. On the one hand, corticosteroids and cardioprotective medication like ACE inhibitors are readily available on the Zambian government formulary, considered essential drugs. So we have access to evidence-based therapies. And on the other hand, it can be challenging to screen for Duchenne. We do not have access to genetic testing in the country.
Boys with Duchenne's, they all manifest quite differently. Some do crawl, and then others maybe will never sit up. It's a real spectrum. We kind of went in there going, right, how do we fix this? What's the cure? And it was just, I'm sorry. There are things on the horizon, but nothing at the moment. For George, his prognosis will be most likely full-time in a wheelchair, and then over time he will have issues with the rest of his muscles in his body, have respiratory issues. Boys will then start to go on ventilation. The last stage is heart failure. I just will not accept that prognosis for us. So steroid management is really important for boys with Duchenne. It helps keep the muscles strong, but obviously with that comes a lot of side effects. Weakened bones, cataracts. It's not without its issues, but I'm looking forward to him starting steroids and seeing what life looks like then. George's personality, he's always been quite cautious, and that makes sense because he doesn't trust his body. So our physio's been amazing to kind of help build his skills, show him ways that he can do things that are different to his peers.
В основном у нас потом наш день проходит так, что мы занимаемся на велотренажере, у нас уголки, тутора, у нас растяжки каждый день. Вот этот не достает уже, видите, уже деформация вот здесь уже у него идет. Перед сном каждый день одеваем вот эти тутора. Это для того, чтобы не было деформации конечности ноги. Эти ножки у него, чтобы не было деформации ног. Как день сурка, все одно и то же каждый день.
У дюшеновских детей у всех вот такие икры большие.
А мы всегда думали, типа, футболистом станет, как у футболистов у него эти игры. Мы каждые полгода проходим реабилитацию здесь, в больнице, проходим полностью чекап организма, вот. Но в основном мы, потому что проверяемся, в основном мы сердце и органы, внутренние органы проверяем, и делаем рентген кистей, там денсометрию, чтобы его костный возраст смотреть, так как он принимает еще гормоны, вот. И, конечно, с узких специалистов проходим.
And so, when I think about what's next, I take a lot of that with me when I go running. I think about the possibilities. I think about what kind of life he has, what kind of life he will have. I think about his little brother. I think about his dad. I think about us. And I wonder, what does that look like? What doctors does he need to see? What new treatments are out there? What's in the pipeline? Who can we talk to? How do we create change? And that's on top of, obviously trying to be present for him, for his 6-year-old brother, while working a full-time job.
In daily life, for example, whenever we go to mall or any market or anywhere, and there are stairs, so when we have to go somewhere, it's very difficult, and sometimes there are so many stairs that it's impossible to go there. So I would request to install ramps and lifts wherever there are stairs, and I would also tell that there is a problem of mobility. Earlier I had a normal wheelchair in which people had to push wherever I needed to go. So it was very inconvenient because I could not go independently where I wished to go. But now that I have an electric wheelchair, then I can go wherever I want to without asking for help.
Even 32 years on, I would say that Duchenne is still a prick in my stomach, something like an unwanted guest in our life.
Duchenne was loss of ambulation at around age 10. Progressively overtaking muscles is what it said. Rare and found in 1 in 3,500 boys. These numbers are global. Life limiting and death around age 25. And you start doing the countdown. And then the words that crushed me to the core is no cure. How could there not be a cure?
I do think there's a lot that could be done to improve care and quality of life for patients with Duchenne in Zambia. I think awareness and advocacy is just really critically important and needed. So as specialists are often sitting in the urban centers, we must network with our healthcare workers in more remote regions who aren't going to be as comfortable with diagnosis of Duchenne. We need so that we can identify them earlier. We also need to support those healthcare workers who may have to manage some of the side effects of chronic corticosteroid use. The other piece is really bringing the Duchenne community together. I think they often feel very isolated and alone, and there is so much strength in the community to come together and help support each other.
Like many of you, I'm a voice for Duchenne, a voice for all families living with this condition, striving to ensure that we are truly heard and cared for.
Я мечтаю играть с друзьями, бегать, прыгать. Но из-за болезни у меня часто болят ноги. Я устаю быстрее других мне трудно подниматься по лестнице. We should also be thankful to God that even though we cannot walk or stand, so we can at least see, hear.
将来の夢は何ですか？
発明家です。
発明家になったら何作りたいですか？
時間を移動できる機械
とか
とか、空を飛ぶ道具。
空を飛ぶ道具。